The Metro Action Commission, and Cynthia, if you could introduce yourself and your colleagues and then make whatever budgetary presentation or otherwise that you want to make.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Let me introduce to my right our board chairperson, Dr. Lavinia Steele, and then to my left, our new Chief Financial Officer, Melissa Weaver. Also joining us in the room is the rest of our team, Marvin Cox, the Director of Community Services, Pamela Matthews, and Camille Baker, our Head Start Director and Early Head Start Director, Karen Cook, Director of Operations and Administrative Services, Lisa McCready, who is our Public Information Officer. Not joining us today is Cassandra Johnson-Payne, who is our Human Resources Director. I think I've covered everyone.
Well
Mayor, I just want to say, in respect for the Healthy Nashville initiative, last year we brought cookies and felt very terrible about it. And so this year we have brought fruit and cookies, Rich, so that we can support the Healthy initiative with the fruit and then encourage you to exercise by bringing cookies. So I think that between those two, we've taken care of all of the areas that you are concerned about regarding health. Mayor, if it's okay, I'll begin my report.
Go right ahead.
We are highlighting a couple of things this year that we're extremely proud of. We have several accomplishments, as you will note, listed, but we really would like to spend more of our presentation today talking about some of the anticipated cuts on the federal side, because I think it's important that there's full understanding of the impact. We do want to mention that Head Start, as you know, had its triennial review this year. We have that every 3 years. We had a great review. But we want to make sure that you're aware that the area that we were cited for as our greatest strength was the amount of support that is received from Metro Nashville government, specifically as it relates to our capital projects with our buildings, also as it relates to the funds that this government provides for salaries and fringe benefits for our staff, as well as the cost of our fuel. They noted all of those as important strengths of our organization. And so we want to use this opportunity to say thank you to you and, of course, to Metropolitan Council, Rich and Greg, for working with us throughout the years to make sure that we had those very important in-kind contributions to help with our budget. The other area I want to highlight, because we know it's extremely important, is the food program, the summer food program. As you know, we served over 110 sites. Well over 223,000 meals were served to children over the summer. And then, Mayor, we're also proud to mention that this year, as a part of the After School Alliance, we are providing meals to children in the after school program, the NASA program that you have spent quite a bit of time making sure it was available here in Nashville. I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. You'll also note the kickoff of one of our new initiatives, which is MAC for Jobs, which focuses on combining resources in the Community Services Division with resources in the Head Start Division to help Head Start parents receive employment. Those are the highlights that I want to mention at this time. And if it's okay, I will go right into the conversation regarding budget and budget reductions.
Okay.
The 2% reduction proposed for Metro or from the local government would be about $80,000 for our organization. That would be a direct reduction in services that we provide in the community. So that's services that we provide around rent and mortgage related activities. That's what that $80,000 would be. Equally as important is the 5% reduction that we already know we will take through as a result of sequestration. This is in the Head Start program only at this point. We have not been told what our reduction will be for the Community Services Division. We are being told, however, to prepare for between 5 and 9.5%. So if it's okay, I'd like to speak more specifically to the concerns about the reduction to the Head Start budget. Mayor, that represents about $600,000 loss from the Head Start program. We have proposed a number of initiatives to help realize that loss, and that becomes effective July 1. This is in stone as it relates to the Head Start program. We will, in fact, receive this cut. We will, as a result of this cut, our staff will experience a 2% across-the-board reduction in their salaries. In addition to the fact that we will, in order to help meet this cost reduction, and I want to say one other thing that you may or may not be aware of, about 83% of our entire Head Start budget is salaries and benefits. And so to take a $600,000 reduction, you can't take it without reducing salaries and benefits to our team members. One of the ways that we're addressing this cut is by transferring a number of our Head Start staff to the summer food program in the months of June and July, allowing them to work in that program, thus freeing up some of the funds in the Head Start program and making the reduction from those dollars. In addition to that, we are where we
Would
can.
you normally, for the summer food program, you normally hire seasonal people?
We do. So normally we hire seasonal staff, and a large number of the seasonal staff that we hire come from metropolitan Nashville public schools. So some of those positions will then not be available to their nutrition staff who normally comes over and works for us. We will transfer 12 bus driver positions to the summer food service program, and they will actually drive the summer food service trucks for us to make the deliveries of the foods. We will also transfer a number of our existing nutrition staff that are charged to the Head Start budget into the summer food service program, rather than, again, hiring some of those seasonal workers in order to provide some relief to the Head Start budget. We are making cuts to educational supply lines. We are reducing the contract that we have with the health department for the nurse that they provide for the early Head Start program. We're also reducing the contract amount to the McNeely Head Start, or excuse me, the McNeely organization who provides Head Start services for us. So in order to make that $600,000 cut, we are making a substantial number of reductions. We are fortunate that in this year, we are not reducing the number of slots. That means that children, the same number of children that we served in the previous year, we will serve in the upcoming year. Regretfully, if these cuts are sustained, we do not believe that we will be able to continue to provide services without also reducing the number of children that we serve. I think it's important to mention that to you because as we talk about the capital request, one of the capital issues that's of great importance to us and that we are very pleased that you approved several years ago was the kitchen project. The kitchen project is extremely important to us because all of our meals, we produce 3,600 meals per day for Head Start alone, and then approximately 5,700 meals per day in the summer months. Absent that kitchen, we will certainly not be able to continue to provide that level of service. You provided funding for the kitchen, which we really appreciate. Unfortunately, when the bid came back through General Services, all of the bids to build the kitchen exceed the dollar amount that was appropriated. And so you will notice in our capital request that we are asking for additional funds to complete the actual kitchen project. Also, because that kitchen project is a huge part of our programming, meaning it allows us to transfer the Head Start staff into the summer food program to reduce cost on the Head Start side. Having that resources is extremely important to our ability to continue to respond to the federal cuts. I know that I'm sharing a lot of information, but it's important for me to make sure that you understand that we are working from multiple angles to try and address the cuts that we are anticipating on the federal side without impacting greatly the direct services that we provide to children and to families. I'm near the end of my report, and so I want to say finally this one thing. We do not know if there's any proposal from the city this year to provide any kind of cost of living increase to the staff of metropolitan government. If such a proposal is put forth by your office, our request would be that the staff of the Metropolitan Action Commission would be included in any across-the-board increase, allowing our staff to be brought whole, given that the Head Start team will experience a 2% across-the-board reduction. I will breathe and give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have at this time. But I want to make sure I conclude by saying my sincere thanks to you and this team for the work that you've done with us over the last year in looking at the cost of benefits to our program, which are still high, But fortunately, as we had shared with Rich in the previous year, that we would make cuts where we could in this existing budget year, so it's not to come back and ask for additional funds this year for the benefits. And I'm pleased to say that we are not having to make that request. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you, we have the flood rebuild still. Where are we on that?
Fortunately, we're doing very well. That just came back from being bid, and so we're expected to have the building up and going in November of 2013. And so we're looking forward to having the Dudley site back up and going so that our children can move from the older Ross location into their new location.
Good, good. Okay, and for the summer program, the summer food service program, are there enough positions to fill most people you need to find a spot for during July?
There is not. It will allow us to relieve the budget enough so that with the 2% reduction and other things that we're doing, so that we don't have to furlough our staff. Originally, we thought that we would have to send our staff home for 2 weeks with no pay. Even though it doesn't allow us to transfer everyone, it allows us to transfer enough people in addition to the other cuts so that no one has to be sent home.
Good. That's Rich.
What was I didn't get to report on the capital problem. How much over was the kitchen project? How much have you asked for additional?
We've asked for about 2.3 million additional. I think that's how much they were over, and that's probably
increase, yeah.
what you'd heard from General Services as well.
You still want to do that
At our Richland location.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Richland, Charlotte. I couldn't think of it. Yeah. Okay.
And that was to help save costs because that's property that we already own,
right.
to be able to build it on the Richland location property. That's our Charlotte property.
Greg?
Cynthia, when you leave Ross, you're gone from Ross. There's no other presence there, right?
We're gone from Ross when we leave there. Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, and thank you for all you do for the city and for our citizens, but also thank you for your creative approach.
And the healthy initiative.
And the food, and the healthy initiatives, yes, of course. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
All right.